the idea. You'll grow into it. Maybe someday I'll grow into it. Shabbat shalom. You think so?
Sounds good. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It is so great to see this congregation full of bright, lively, smiley, well, I can't exactly see your smiles, but that's okay. I know that they are there. So it's great to have everyone here. We are so glad to have you here with us in the sanctuary. We're glad to have you join us online as well. If you are joining us online, there are 2 links you should be watching for. One link takes us to the program for tonight, and the other link takes you to our Siddur, which is our prayer book. That's the Siddur that we have this evening. And if you are here with us in the sanctuary, you have both the program and the Siddur, I hope. The Siddur has the front cover that sort of looks like this. You probably have it. And the program, I think, may have been around that. So just sit back and relax and enjoy this beautiful night when we have such great people here for Shabbat. We begin on page 3 with Ma Yafeh Hayom at the top of the page. Page
How
3.
beautiful is this
It is.
Shabbat day?
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. So I want to ask everybody who is here tonight, and everyone, even if you're watching online, I also want to know how many people had something good happen to them this past week? How many people ate a good candy bar or had a great piece of cake or had a wonderful apple? Apples probably aren't really in season. But how many people had really nice things happen to them? I see so many hands in the air. All right, there you go. Thank you. All right. Shabbat is a time to remember those things. Shabbat is a time to rest. Shabbat is a time to sit with a community of people and remember that even though there are difficult things in the world, and sometimes things don't always go the way that we want them to, still we know that there are good things in the world, and there are things that can make us feel excellent. And so that is what this day is for, to spend time reviewing in your mind the week gone by, to think about how to make things even better in the week to come. And we welcome Shabbat, actually, by thanking God for the light that is part of our heritage and part of our practice and part of our tradition. Tonight, we are so fortunate to have our first and second graders here worshiping with us because they actually, some of them spent some time this afternoon making all kinds of things. What did you make today, you first and second graders? Challah. You made challah. What else? A challah plate or something like that? A challah board, thank you. What else? And you had snack. Oh, well, of course, that goes without saying, right? So we're so glad to have you here. And you will be really active in participating in our service tonight. So now I'd like to invite all the first graders and the second graders to come up and to stand around the candle table as we thank God for the light. Mrs. Jar, who is our Director of Lifelong Learning, will help guide you through this process. And Miss Leslie, I don't know if you want to come up too. But you guided us this afternoon, so and you are with these students so much. So please join one another, and we're going to be for the candle lighting, I think, right on page
6.
Page. Where are we? Page 6. Thank you.
At the top.
Thank you. Page 6 at the top. Baruch atah Adonai asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikner v'tzivanu v'tzivanu lehadlikner shel Shabbat shel Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the light of Shabbat, of Shabbat. Thank you, first and second graders, and thank you, congregations, for being with us for this candle lighting. We'd like to invite you to continue to be on page 6 at the bottom. We thank God for the light, and we know that light is provided for those who are righteous, for those who are good, that is. For those who are good, we get light all over. Or Zarua at the bottom of page 6. Or Zarua, Bat Tzadik, U'Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Bat Tzadik, U'Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Bat Tzadik, U'Yisrael Simcha. U'Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Bat Tzadik, U'Yisrael Simcha. U'Yisrael Simcha. Lai 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 U'Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Bat Tzadik, U'Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Bat Tzadik, U'Yisrael Simcha. U'Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Bat Tzadik, U'Yisrael Simcha. U'Yisrael Simcha. Lai 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 I want to ask the first and second graders, how many among you have good imaginations? How many of you really can think of things that aren't yet in the world and maybe could be? So I want you to imagine something. But this is something really connected to our people. Imagine that the Shabbat is a visitor, a very special visitor that comes to us. And every Friday evening we sing a prayer. We sing, actually, it's a piyut. That's a Hebrew word for sort of a poem that welcomes this special guest into our community. And on page 7 is Lecha Dodi Boi Kala, where we actually welcome this visitor to our community and to our hearts. Page 7, at the middle of the page, Lecha Dodi Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, Boi Kala. Kala, It is the tradition of our people that when we offer worship, we summon God to our midst. And sometimes some people think that God is indeed present, and sometimes people are searching for God, and sometimes people think that God really is in the relationships that we have with one another, in the love that we share between friends, between children and parents, between colleagues who work together. That's where God is, some people think. Whatever we think God is, wherever we think God dwells, we offer these prayers to God because we know that in our hearts, God is to be blessed for creating communities like this one and the love that we can feel for those around us. Baruch Hu, a call to worship, is at the bottom of page 7, and we invite you to rise for Baruch Hu, and then we'll continue standing through the Shema. At the top of page 8, continue.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Another very important part of who we are as a people has to do with freedom. That's why we keep Micha Mocha close to our hearts in our service. That's why we think about peoples all over the world who yearn for freedom and freedom from oppression and freedom from slavery. I want to ask Mrs. Jar if you wouldn't mind helping us, because these classes, I think, are going to lead us in Micha Mocha tonight.
Yeah, come on,
Standing,
up.
let's stand up, right?
You know this. We pray this on Sunday mornings, every Sunday Tefillah.
Right. For the congregations, we are actually looking at, on page 10, standing at the sea. And if anybody also wants to stand up and also march toward freedom, we're going to do that too.
Standing at the sea, standing at the sea, standing at the sea, freedom's on our way. Singing and dancing, singing and dancing, singing and dancing, freedom's on our way. Freedom, 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 freedom's on our way.
Coming up high, coming up high,
freedom's on our way.
now no more.
Freedom's on our way.
Freedom,
Freedom, freedom, freedom, freedom, freedom, freedom's on our way.
hearts,
Freedom's on our way.
other side.
On the other side, Yehovah. On the other side, Yehovah. On the other side, Yehovah. Freedom's on our way.
One God, Yehovah. One God, Yehovah. One God, Yehovah.
Freedom's on our way.
Freedom, 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 freedom's on our way. Please be seated, everyone. That was beautiful. Thank you all. Whew, so much work. I think that the first grade and second grade too are going to help us with this next piece as well. This is an introduction to our worship. It's an introduction to a time when really we look inside ourselves. So often we're looking at the world outside, but this gives us a chance to look inside and to give something of ourselves.
So if we have friends who can help us with using our hands to help us remember all the kinds of things that we want to be open when we are praying, whether we are praying out loud or in our hearts, and you know those, and you can help us out. I think we also have Mrs. Jar helping us out too. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. We're going to try with Hebrew, Adonai Sifatai, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Adonai Sifatai, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love.
Now we have some time for some quiet prayer.
On page 10, a prayer for peace. Use shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu. Use shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Le'akol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Le'akol Yisrael. Shalom bimroma, shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yoshei Tevel. Say shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu.
So remember, a little while ago, I asked how many people had something good happen to them this past week. So now, I want to ask you if you'd be willing to share. Now, I want you to raise your hand, and so I can call on you, and you can tell what nice thing happened to you this week, or what luscious food you had this week, or what good friends and good relationships you made this past week. Thank you, Steve. Awesome. All right, I saw one hand over here. Here we go.
We got to say, Nana and me read a series called The Bad Guys, and I got to do a bit of that.
Oh, that's fun to get to read something. That is excellent. Who else would like to share? I'm looking for some hands so I know to walk over to you. Thank you. Oh, way over there. Okay. Thank you. What happened to you, or what did you do this week? It was so good.
We had one art in the classroom and one art in a different room.
That is wonderful. So just varied experiences people have. What else? Anybody else want to share? Adults, you can do it too. You are entitled, if you would like.
Good things in the last month, or things that you're really grateful for.
I got the date for my bat mitzvah.
All right.
Ooh.
That's an awesome time. 2.5 years out or something like that. Yeah. Well,
It'll
that's-
feel real at some point.
and the time will go very quickly. Anybody else want to share? We are so happy to have good things happen to us. Again, the world is sometimes difficult, but when good things happen to us, it's important to maintain that, to contain that, and to express it. Anybody else? Last opportunity. Did I see a hand over here? Oh, no. Okay. I thought I saw someone. Anybody else? We are so glad to have you with us tonight, and we sing Shehechianu.
A blessing that we say whenever we are experiencing new things, things for the first time, or just having gratitude for being able to arrive to this great moment that we have here together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu hazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu hazman hazeh.
Also, I want to say to remember to our young people who are here tonight, after the service, if you would like to get one, I have something for you. If you all know what books are, and I think that most people still remember books, but this is a magnetic bookmarker. So come and see me after service. For all of our young people here tonight, please let me know. It has our pretty colors on it, our logo and everything, and you'll remember that you got this at Temple Bethel.
You can put it in your favorite book.
Exactly. Now I have to ask a question of really everybody, but sometimes I'm talking just to the first and second graders. But I want to ask you a question, and you can be honest. This is for science. So, how many of you like to play tricks? I'm so glad that people like to play tricks. And how many people play nice tricks on people? The hands went down. Oh my goodness. Well, I want to tell you the story about someone who actually was a real person, I learned this past week. I always thought this person was sort of a legend, but this is a real person who was born in the city of Ostropol, which when he was born, it was Ukraine, and still today it's in Ukraine. That's a city, that's a country that you may have heard of in the last couple of weeks. But Herschel of Ostropol is a really important person in the legends of our people, and he was a real person. I mean, you may have read a story about him because there's a book called Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins. I don't know if anybody has ever read that quite yet. You have. Oh, you've heard of that. Some people has. Yes, okay, you know that book. So I want to tell you a short story, but you have to listen very carefully because afterwards I want you to tell me if his tricks were good, if his tricks were good tricks or not nice tricks, and what you would have done differently. Okay? So pay attention. Now, Herschel of Ostropol was a man who wandered all over the country. He wandered from this city to that city and that city to this city. He was always asking people for money, asking people for food, and he wasn't dressed very nicely. His clothing was dirty. He had hair that was all over the place. He had a beard that he never managed, and so it was scraggly and was all over the place. And one day, he came to an inn, which is like a hotel. He came to this inn. And he goes up to the bar, and he sees no one's there. He goes to the registration desk, and no one is there. He goes to the kitchen, and the only person who is there is the woman who runs the inn. And she looks at him, and she says to herself, oh my goodness, this person is going to ask for a room, and he's not going to be able to pay for it. This person is going to ask for food, and he's not going to be able to pay for it. But she is always very nice and very gracious. If you know people who own a business, you know the customer is right most of the time, even when the customer is not right. So she says to him, oh, good afternoon, sir. How may I help you? And Herschel says, I am famished. I am so hungry. I need food. And she took a look at him and heard his words, and she said to herself, this man's not going to be able to pay for his meal. But again, being gracious, she said, I'm sorry, sir. You see, no one is in my hotel these days. We have no guests. Our kitchen is closed, even though it really wasn't. She wasn't really telling the truth. But there's no food. I really can't sell you anything. I can't give you any food. And he says to her, you can't give me food? Well, if you can't give me food, I'm going to do what my father did. And then she said to herself, ooh, that sounds a little bit freaky. That sounds a little ominous. That sounds like he might be in trouble. And she said, well, really, I have no food. I really can't serve you. And he said, well, if you can't serve me, I'm going to do what my father did. And he sounded a little angry. And she was all by herself. She didn't know what he would do. She thought he was very angry. And so she then ran around and she made him dinner. She made him a chicken, and she put out some fish, and she put out some wine, and she put out some nice black bread. And he ate, and he ate, and he ate. And all the time she's worrying, I better feed this person. He may turn out to be not a very nice person. I don't know what to do. And finally, at the end of the meal, he sat back and he put his hands behind his head and maybe put his feet on the table, which I can't do because I don't have a table. But she said to him, sir, I hope you enjoyed our hospitality, but I have to ask you, when you said that you would do what your father did, if you didn't get a food, would you mind telling me what that was? And he said to her, ma'am, your food was so delicious, I haven't had any food like this since last Passover. But since you asked what I would do, what my father did, what would my father do if he couldn't get served in a restaurant? He would go to bed hungry. And with that, he left. And he didn't pay for his dinner, of course. So, I want to ask you, in that story, who was good And who was not so good? Yeah.
The girl was good and the boy was not so good.
So the woman was good and the man was not good. Is that what you said? Yeah. You want? He likes the Hanukkah story. So, who would like to say what was right with what Herschel did, if anything, and what was wrong with Herschel?
It was good that he wasn't actually going to do any punishment in the first place.
But that was a trick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That he wasn't going to really get angry or do anything. But he was trying to, what was he trying to do when he was saying, I would do what my father did if I didn't get served? What would that be? That is so, yeah.
His father actually just went to bed hungry.
Say it again a little bit louder.
His father actually just went to bed hungry.
His father just actually went to bed hungry. And I guess Herschel was ready to go to bed hungry. So what that really shows me, when I hear this story, I think to myself that we really have to be nice to people, we have to be honest with people, and we have to give them what is in our hearts. Because it's so important that when we summon up good relationships between and among people, that's when we really bring out the love that is part of who we are as individuals and who we are as part of the human family. I want to now ask everyone to think of something else. Again, perhaps we don't have to use our imaginations this time, but I want people to think of those people who are ill. How many know people who are sick? Anybody know people who are sick on this night? A lot of people know people who are ill. So right now, we'd like to ask you to think in your heart and in your mind of people whom you know about who are ill, might be in the hospital. We also want you to think about people who you don't know about still, but people who need healing and wholeness in their lives, because there are people like that as well. And so we now offer an opportunity to offer together Misha Berach, which is on page 11 in the prayer book. There may be people here tonight who would like to find out or who would like to say the name of someone whom they're thinking of, because sometimes it helps us as a community know whom we're praying for, on whose behalf we are praying. So if you would like to offer the name of someone for whom you're thinking, about whom you are thinking, someone who needs a prayer of healing and wholeness, as I wave my hand around the community, perhaps, and you see my hand pointing in your direction, if you want to, share a name with us of someone whom you think about.
Angie Watson.
Grandma Pat.
Sherry Hansen.
Manuel Snowden.
Aloud and in our hearts, we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers to the prayers of all who love them. Again, here, Misha Berach is on page 12, actually, in the prayer book, page 12.
Misha Berach Avotenu Nikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Another very important custom that we observe when we worship together is the saying of Kaddish. Kaddish is a prayer of memory. Kaddish really is a prayer of gratitude, because when we say Kaddish, we are saying Kaddish at this moment. This is the Kaddish for mourners, or the Kaddish Yatom, as it is in Hebrew. We say this Kaddish in remembering all the people who have died, people whom we know, or people whom we knew, and who still, their love and their essence remains in our hearts. And so we say Kaddish for a number of special people. Let me share with you the people whom I think that we are saying the Kaddish for. If you are here tonight, by the way, observing a yard site, or you are in mourning, we invite you to rise as the name of your loved one is recited, and then you'll be joined by the rest of the community as we recite the Kaddish together. But these are the people whom we're thinking about tonight. These are people who died recently in the last 30 days. We're thinking about Bernie Goldstein, a member of our community and husband of Lenora Goldstein. Ellen Koch, mother of Renee Balkin and grandmother of Ari and Byron Balkin. We're thinking of Bruce McCallum, brother of our member Jerry McCallum Schwartz, uncle of Becca Schwartz, Sarah Schwartz, and Leah Feyereisen. And I just got word today, too, of the death or the passing of the mother of one of our members. We are thinking about Soretta Kaplan Burke, mother of Philip Barak, Elliot Burke, Terry Burke and Russell Burke, and grandmother of Ariel Barak, Yishai Barak, Eitan Barak, and Jackson Burke and Uma Ortiz Rios. These are people who are in our hearts who experienced losses in the last 30 days. We also have a number of people whom we are remembering who died at this season in years past. And these are the yard sites that we recall at this time. In continuing love and devotion, we think about Bruce Tzvi Abramson, Fritz Arm, Susan Gallin Barcher, Maurice Davis, Sylvia Binstock Feingold, Morris Feldman, Arthur Friedman, Stanley Friedman, Lisa Geller, Hillel Giller, Melvin Gittleman, Seymour David Goodman, Flavia C. Halprin, Irma Jelinek, Ree Kalen Cole, Jack Kaplan, Arthur Lax, Ruth W. Litcher, Kent Manis, Maurice B. Pash, Lori Salzman, George Siegel, Gary Seltzer, Abraham Steinpress, Nettie Tovrog, David Winehouse, Shimon Weiss, Lucille Williams, Emily Wiener, Arthur T. Wurtzel. There may be other members of tonight's worship community, either here or online, who are remembering loved ones too. If you are online and you'd like to share the name of the person whom you are thinking about, please add their name to the comment section. And if you are here tonight also remembering someone whose name didn't get on the Kaddish list this week, you are invited to offer your loved one's name to us as well.
Jordan Mondre.
Zichronam livracha, may all their memories be blessings in our hearts and the hearts and minds of all those who knew and loved them. And now I'd like to invite the community to return to the prayer book, and we turn to page 13 to offer the Mourner's Kaddish. We invite the community to rise and we recite this prayer of gratitude together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divara chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal. Shemei dekudsha b'reichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya. v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May God send peace to all who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved, and we say amen. Please be seated. There are so many people to thank. I'm going to try to make sure I include everyone. First, I'd like to thank Miss Lindsay for helping us tonight with beautiful music, and Cantor Jacob, thank you very much for leading our service. These two are wonderful Bima partners. Thank you both very much. I'd like to thank Miss Leslie. Where is Miss Leslie? There she is, because she helped out this afternoon with the wonderful activity. And I want to thank the first and second graders who not only, and Hannah Silver, is Hannah Silver here? Where's Hannah? Oh, there she is. Hannah, thank you for guiding this class through these years here in our religious school. So wonderful. I thought I saw you. I knew I saw you. So later on, we're going to say motzi up here, and the kids this afternoon, they made challahs. So I think we're going to bring those challahs out. Is that right? No? Oh, okay.
Great.
All right.
Then take them home with you then.
All right, be sure to take them home with you and have them, because they smell great. Thank you to our greeters, Carly Jacobson and Julia Katz. Thank you very much for greeting people at the door, making sure that we're safe. Tonight we have an oneg to go, sponsored by the Temple Beth El Sisterhood. Everybody gets a cookie, so be sure to take a cookie, one cookie, because they're big, very large, and they're individually wrapped, so get that before you leave here. And again, if you are a young person, be sure to come up. I want to give you a magnetic bookmark. A few important announcements. First of all, some COVID-related announcements. As always, we thank everyone for wearing your mask properly over both your nose and your mouth, and for proving and for offering proof of vaccination and booster if that is indeed your status. Yes, for those watching online, you probably know that proof of vaccination is required for entry, really for anything in our building. So that's where we are these days. And one note about contact tracing, we always need to know that you are here tonight, because if you test positive within 5 days of being here at Temple Beth El, we'd like to know that, and we'd like you to contact Stephanie Kushner, our executive director, by email or by phone. Your information remains confidential, but we want to make sure that people who attended know that you could have had a possible exposure here. And if we receive notification from somebody, we'll let you know. So be sure to let us know that you've been here tonight. We hope that people signed in upon arrival, and to make sure that we all try to stay as safe and healthy as possible in these days. Tomorrow morning, there will be Torah study at 9 o'clock, led by Kendra Sager. And tomorrow morning at 10:30, Chloe and Eden Schmick come to our Bima Ez Benot mitzvah. So we are so glad to have them with us, and so it's wonderful to share a simcha tomorrow morning. So be here at 10:30, or you can watch online as well. Next Friday evening, there will be a 5th grade special Shabbat program at 6 o'clock, followed by Shabbat services at 7:30. Next Friday evening, we offer gratitude to those members of our community and others who helped with the sanctuary renovation last summer. We have a few of those people here tonight with us as well. You know who you are. We're going to be honoring you next week at worship then. And next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock on March 12th, I think we begin our extension of Torah study. It says here, after the first 5 books, so we're going to be looking at not only the Torah portion of next week, but maybe a little bit more as well. For more information and registration about these events and others, please go to tbemadison.org. What I don't have on my list, and I think which is probably on the program, but I'm not sure, a week from Sunday is the Purim Carnival. So be sure to sign up. You know, there are 3 times when you can come to the Purim Carnival, and the first 2 are filled. So if you haven't yet registered, you'll come to the 3rd time, but register because it's going to fill up. And on Wednesday evening, March 16th, the first time when we can have a dinner here. We're serving dinner in honor of Purim, and that's at 6 p.m. And that's the first time we're having a congregational dinner here in 2 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Just about.
Right. And then at 7 o'clock, what's happening at 7 o'clock?
We are going to have a little bit of a service and a spiel. We're going to tell the story of Esther, and we're going to use it, the story of the Wizard of Oz, to help us tell the story of Esther. Yeah.
Oh.
So there will be lions, no tigers, no bears, but maybe some flying monkeys.
Maybe some flying monkeys. We'll see what happens. Certainly a green face. Anybody else have any announcements they think need to be made tonight? Seeing none, I didn't give it much of a chance, but seeing none, I want people to draw close now to people who they feel close to in this community. It may be parents being close with their kids. It may be community members being close with other community members. But we want to bless one another, because blessing is something that we have the power to do. We have the power to bring good to the lives of others. And we say it. We actually say it, that I bless you, or I bless you, which means that I give of myself to you. So please find those people with whom you came, or
If you're a little one that brought a grown-up with you, or you're a grown-up that brought another grown-up with you, or anything like that, find a way to be close to someone, and we're going to offer each other blessings of peace.
and in order to do that, you can turn to page 14 in the Siddur as we offer these prayers to one another, really.
And so, as we do that, all anybody has to do is just repeat after us, after me and Lindsay. So, we're going to start with grown-ups, all grown-ups, offering a blessing of peace for all of the little ones, all of the kids in our community here. So all grown-ups repeat after me. You are a blessing.
You are a blessing
Every day,
every day.
I watch you grow,
When I watch you grow,
learn and play.
learn and play.
I'll love you and keep you,
I'll love you and keep you.
and I'll hug you and kiss you
I'll hug you and kiss you
forever and ever.
forever and ever and ever.
All right, so all little ones here, all kids present can help me by repeating after me, and so we're going to bless the grown-ups. You are a blessing
You are a blessing
every day.
every day.
When you care for me,
You care for me,
help our family.
help our family.
I'll love you and keep you,
I'll love you and keep you.
and I'll hug
hug
you
you and kiss you.
I'll hug you and kiss you
forever and ever.
ever and ever.
All right, now we're going to all bless each other. Everyone blessing everyone. Everyone
Especially,
repeat after me.
especially those who don't have someone to bless. Look, find someone else who do. There are some single type
Maybe
visitors.
catch eyes with somebody.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be someone that you came here with. We all can bless one another with peace. That is a power that we have been given as humans, as people on this earth. So we'll say, you'll repeat after me. May God bless you.
May God bless you.
May God
Keep you,
May God keep you.
shine light on you,
Shine light on you.
help you find peace,
Help you find peace.
May God watch you.
May God watch you
And
stay with you,
and stay with you
forever and ever.
ever and ever and ever.
All right, we're going to try the Hebrew a little slower. Yivarechecha
Yevarechecha
Adonai v'yishmerecha
Adonai v'yishmerecha
Ya'er Adonai
Ya'er Adonai
Hanav elecha v'chuneka
Panav elecha vichuneka
Yisa Adonai
Yisa Adonai
Hanav elecha
Panav elecha
Yasem lecha
Yasem lecha
Shalom.
Shalom.
May God bless you one more time. May God bless you.
may God keep you,
May God keep you.
shine light on you,
Shine light on you.
help you find peace,
Help you find peace.
May God watch you.
May God watch you
and stay with you,
and stay with you
forever and ever.
forever and ever, ever. And to close our service, we want to ask the help of our first and second graders again. Please come forward and be part of the Kiddush and Motzi. So come on up, first and second graders. I'm going to pull you back up to the front. pull you back up to the front. Come over here to the candle table. There's a symbolic cup of wine and a challah over there. I guess, was this one of the chalot that was made? Not yet. No. Okay.
It's still special.
It's still very special. Challah's great, regardless of who makes it, regardless of how it's made, almost.
All right, and so we're going to get the grape juice ready first. Oh, I should grab mine.
Yeah.
All right, and the blessing, if anyone needs it, is on page 15. Friends, are we ready? Yes. Okay, we'll say together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
L'chaim. And now you can take that challah and be ready to offer a blessing to God. We thank God for the gift of bread from the earth. We all ready for that? Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz
B'tei avon. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight.
We're going to do a little bim bam Shabbat shalom as we close ourselves out. Bim bam, bim bim bam, bim 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 bam. Bim bam, bim bim bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Bim bam, bim 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 bam. Bim, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Be well.
Shabbat shalom.